Hello everybody, how you doing tonight? Killatia here. I want to give my quick thoughts on the Avengers beta that was done over the previous weekend here. I know I'm a little bit late, but I still wanted to talk about my opinions about the game, especially since I have a few friends who want to know what I thought about the game. I do have to say, I did enjoy what I saw. It did feel like a good game. Not something I would pay a full $60 for, let alone like $100 plus for a steelbook case. Probably something I would wait to see if there's a good sell on, but I'm sure for hardcore Marvel fans, they'll probably already have paid this game in full. Now we are watching the PC version here. We'll talk about the console versions later on, but I do have to say, with my PC setup, I was able to play this game at 4K resolution, at 60 frames per second, and at high settings. Not the ultra high, but high settings nonetheless. I did turn on dynamic resolution just to be sure I was able to hit that 60 FPS mark, but I didn't really notice any shenanigans as far as the dynamic resolution is concerned. And the one thing Square Enix does with their games, especially in recent times, is the presentation. I mean, the world of San Francisco is pretty spot on for the most part, aside from all the instructions going on and such, and the characters are pretty spot on, what I could tell. At least when you compare to the Marvel animated cartoon show that was on Disney XD. And I kind of make that comparison because I swear some of these voice actors came from that show. I wonder if it's still airing on Disney XD. The controls felt good. Almost paced like a beefed up Batman Arkham Asylum game, which isn't a bad thing. The game clearly takes its inspiration from other games, like the already mentioned Batman Arkham Asylum, and the user interface rate pause seems like it came from Destiny. Actually, it feels almost exactly like Destiny, the point where you have to see like might be a ripoff there, but that's kind of a discussion for another day. But still, you got a good selection of Avengers characters here. We've been watching Thor. Let's cut over to Tony Stark here, cause like as far as he goes, he's interesting, but I'm not really in love with his flying mechanics. I don't know, I just couldn't get into it. But still, there are plenty of Avengers characters you could play as. You got the Hulk, Black Widow, Captain America, later on Kamala, aka Miss Marvel. And if you're playing the PlayStation 4 version, one of the future Avengers you get to play as is Spider-Man, which is pretty cool for those who want to play on the PlayStation side of things.
We'll keep you updated, and Goose is fine.
And I do have to say, I enjoy playing as Kamala a lot in this game. She's like a very souped up Stretch Armstrong guy for the modern age here. I know that she is a big fangirl of all the Marvel superheroes, particularly the Avengers, which is not a bad idea, but I would like in the future for her character to evolve beyond like that, because there's only so much you could do with a fangirl trope, especially in the superhero genre. As I stated before, Avengers isn't a bad game. It's actually pretty decent, but there wasn't really anything here that really screamed out to me, I gotta pay $60 for this ASAP. But before we end this video, let's just take a quick look at the console versions. What we're seeing right now is the PlayStation 4 version, specifically playing on the PlayStation 4. A nice crisp 4K image playing at 30 frames per second. Honestly, it looks just as good as the PC version, but as soon as we flip the switch from 4K to full performance in the settings, yep, you can definitely tell dynamic resolution is definitely being used on the console versions. And it doesn't really seem like the game is going at the full 60 frames per second here. But I suppose with a lot of action going on, you wouldn't notice a reduction in image quality, and I suppose the closer to 60 FPS, the better, especially if you plan on playing online with your friends. The same thing can be said about the Xbox One X version of the game. A nice crisp 4K 30 FPS image that is on par with the PC version, but as soon as you turn on performance, more dynamic resolution. But to be fair, I think the Xbox One version does a better job at hitting the 60 FPS mark than the PS4 version does. But then again, the Xbox One does have a lot more RAM and much more powerful GPU than the PS4 Pro. Based on my impressions of the open beta of Marvel's Avengers, I say it's a pretty solid game, and any fans of the Avengers would definitely want to keep their eyes out on it. Heck, somebody already had pre-ordered that $100 Steelbook case for the game, which honestly I don't blame you. As for me, as much as I like it, I'm gonna wait for a good price cut for this game. Because like I said, there's nothing really here that's screaming out to me I have to pay $60 for it. Sorry for sounding like a broken record, but that's how I felt. Anyways, to the Killatia signing off. Hope to see you next time.